Yes, I'm here. Having a problem with my gimbal. Hopefully that took care of it. Good morning. It's last day of May, May 31st. Beautiful spring morning. Almost summer, though. 3 weeks will be summer, officially. So we probably won't get any more snow. Heading around the lake today, which always used to be my Friday routine. Maybe I'll try to get back to it. We'll see. Everything's green and lush. We had rain yesterday, so it's all fresh. Temperature's about 13 degrees Celsius, which is pleasant. Only going to 18, so not a terribly warm day. Warming up some more as the weekend comes along, though. You can see there are puddles from the rain yesterday. Not too much exciting to report on the writing and publishing front. I'm working on polishing up 100 pages of a new novel I've written to send to my agent, see what he thinks. Hope to get that done today, maybe. And I got a bunch of, publishing tasks, but nothing too exciting. A lot of editing to do. A lot more books to come, and got to get those edited and in the pipeline. So, yeah. And as I mentioned, next week I'll be in Toronto, so I don't know if there'll be any walking or not. I'm going for a publishing conference, Association of Canadian Publishers annual general meeting. Also, Literary Press Group Canada AGM. I've never seen a car pull out of there before. Oh, it's the garage. That makes sense. One of the things I'm looking forward to is a tour of the Thomas Fisher Rare Book Library at the University of Toronto, which I've been in. I certainly haven't toured, and it's quite a lovely facility. It's like this silo filled with old books, old rare books. Multiple floors, circular with a walkway across the middle. Apparently Star Trek Discovery used it as a set in a recent episode. I haven't watched Discovery now for a couple of years. They kind of lost me. I think it's the weakest Star Trek series yet. I actually liked Enterprise, which many people didn't like, but I liked Enterprise a lot. But Discovery just hasn't done it for me. Strange New Worlds, I like that one. Although, yes, they have done perhaps too much in the way of stunt episodes with the crossover with Lower Decks, and which is animated, so that was interesting. And the musical episodes, so they may have done too much of that, considering they've only got about 10 episodes a season, unlike original series, which was 24 a season. They used to manage to put out an episode of Star Trek every week in network TV days. Shoot an episode in 6 days. Admittedly, production values have changed over the years. You got all that CGI and stuff, but are the stories any better? Generally not. Sometimes. That always goes back to the writers, of course. Being a writer, I think writers are the ones who ultimately make things good, or unfortunately bad. Such a beautiful morning. Can't see much going in this direction because of the sun. I've got my sunglasses on to try to keep any dust out of my eyes. I might otherwise find it. That guy just had the crosswalk light working, so I may have to wait a bit here as we reach the Albert Street Bridge, and you cannot go underneath it like you used to be able to. Because of the sinkhole, which they still haven't done anything about. You know, I wore my sweater because it's 13, but the sun is so warm, I'm already realizing I made a mistake. I kind of knew before I left, but I did it anyway. So we're heading over there, of course. I'm gonna go in that direction towards the legislative building first, I think. See if the fountains are up and working. I know the aeration fountains are, but I don't know about the decorative one that's over that way. Such a long wait on this light sometimes. But it's not a safe place to jaywalk because of all the traffic, as you can see. Sometimes you can do it, but you have to hit it just right. It's not going to happen this morning. Again, I'm sure it's because the last guy had pressed it and it has some sort of timer so it doesn't get turned on too often because you're... Looks like they're stopping. There we go. Okay, now we'll go down by the sinkhole here. Oh, somebody said good morning. Ryan, thank you. Glad you enjoyed them. To take my glasses off to read the comments. Here's the sinkhole in question. Stay on the sidewalk as much as I can, but eventually you run into the fence. I'll cut across the grass here. It might be a little wet, but that's okay. Back towards the Albert Street Bridge. Saskatchewan Legislative Building, where we will be momentarily. What flags have we got? Mosaic, which is a multicultural festival. Regina flag is the blue and yellow one. So that's what's up now. City of Regina and Mosaic. All the years I've been here, I don't think I've ever gone to a pavilion during Mosaic. Very glittery on the water today. So the bridge here is also the dam that creates the lake. Sometimes you see pelicans down there. I don't see any right now. Again, very, very glittery morning. You can see we'll walk by that again, but the aeration fountain over there. Trying to read that. How long does it take? Well, I am walking around the entire lake. And it takes me about an hour, 50 minutes. Depends how fast I walk. Could do it in 45 probably if I really walked briskly as I could. But I walk a little slower when I'm live streaming. There are always a lot of geese here on this piece of hillside. It's about 5K around the lake. I'm not going to stay right by the lakeside though, because I'm going to walk up towards the legislative building here up here. So I kind of cut off a loop of it here. Just take a slightly more direct path. There's some geese in the water. Duck, duck, goose. You could certainly play that game around here. Although at the moment it's just goose, goose, goose. I don't see any ducks. I certainly didn't need the sweater though. And I knew that too. I could tell as soon as I stepped outside that the sun was warm enough. But I'd already put my microphone on. Didn't want to move it, so. There's a bunch of old guys that walk around the lake every morning. I don't know if it's every morning, but I often see them when I do it on Fridays. I call them old guys. They may not be any older than I am, but look older. I think people my age are older than me. It's probably pretty common. I remember my dad and his, I don't know, he's probably 70 or something. He didn't like going to he felt out of place at the seniors activity center because it was full of old people. Well, no flowers showing up yet. They're working on them. Oh yeah, they're working on them. There they are. Working on them as we walk by. So it won't be too long till this is all full of flowers. Quite a bit has been planted, but still in the midst of planting the rest. We head up to the legislative building. Even where it's planted, there's not a lot of flowering going on yet. There will be soon. Legislative building, of course, has the Union Jack, Canadian flag, and the Saskatchewan flag flying on it. The Canadian flag a little bit higher. Here's the statue of Queen Elizabeth II that she was here to inaugurate back in 2005. My daughter and I were right over here in the pouring rain. Alice was 3, and she gave flowers to Her Majesty. I got a very close picture of the Queen, as close as I've ever come to her for sure. Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II. The horse had a Saskatchewan connection, that's one reason. And looking that way, of course, you're looking straight downtown. City Hall kind of lines up perfectly down there. Yeah, I'll go this way. The ledge is always lit up nicely in the morning from the east. Funny that. In the evening, it's lit from the west. Amazing how they arrange that. The lake, of course, is over there all this time. Now, the wind is still cool when I step into where it's windy. But the sun is very warm. Yes, of course, I don't know how many dogs we've already seen. I'm going this way. Watching out for the goose poop all over the sidewalks. That's one thing you get used to in Regina, in the lake, around the lake. Although you can see geese anywhere. Front porch on this side. Now, is the fountain fountaining? Don't think so. If it's not, I might walk by the tennis courts instead. Can't quite tell yet. but I don't think it's on. Yes, there's the fountain, but it's not fountaining, so I think I'll walk. I walk by the tennis courts fairly often, but usually from the other direction, so I think today I'll do it from this direction. Ow. Something in my shoe, which hopefully doesn't continue to stab me like it did briefly. Wonder if the fountain down there is working. I don't know if I can see it from here or not. There's a nice one that you can kind of sit around and look at. There's benches all around it. You can't see it from here, so don't know. So here's the tennis club up here. Been here a long time. Tucked away in the woods. None of which are natural. Every tree here was planted, except some that might have grown up naturally since the original trees were planted, I guess. Also, they have a little bistro here, which I've never had anything at, but I don't know if it's open yet or not. Oh, they've got lights on, so it probably is, and there's flowers and everything, so yeah, nice little space here. I was about to say there's nobody on the courts, but there are over there. Not a tennis player, never have been, not about to take it up at my age. I played badminton. I was quite good at badminton. When I went to university in Arkansas, phys ed class I took, required phys ed class, you had choices. I took golf and bowling and badminton and archery. And I was like one of the best badminton players in the class because we had played it in high school up here, and a lot of the kids hadn't played it at all. Probably the few times in my life I've been one of the best people at any sport in any group I was in, but I was that time. Make sure we don't get run over here. As we reach the lake shore again, which we'll stay close to now for the rest of the walk. That's the waterfall's going at least. We'll have to walk out on the island today. Center of the Arts, or the Connexus Art Center over there, I mean theater. I performed in there and directed a show in there. In a while. Never in a big musical or anything. I was in an opera, a couple of operas in there when Opera Saskatchewan was going, and I narrated some stuff for the symphony many years ago, and we did a kind of concert version of The Merry Widow that I sang in, and narrated too, I think. I once did my version of Winston Churchill for a Remembrance Day concert, reading his speeches. This is the Holodomor Memorial for the Russian genocide of Ukrainians by famine. There's a little starving child there representing that. It's a large Ukrainian population in Saskatchewan. I believe we were the first government in the world. It's the Saskatchewan government to recognize the Holodomor's genocide. I think. I can't remember that. You can see there's baby geese around now, goslings. Geese seem to have a kind of communal approach to goslings. You can never tell who the goslings belong to. They're almost looking like teenagers already. Tweens, anyway, I guess, in goose terms. Not babies anymore. Yes, of course, the plague of scooters. Ugly things, I think, and a nuisance sometimes. People who, well, not the scooters so much as the people who ride them. There's some lilacs hanging over our head as we go by. I don't know when the bush this year will flower, or else they already have and I missed it. I was called them honeysuckles, but they're actually, the name has escaped me. They are, anyway, something else, but they do have yellow flowers that you can suck on. I remember doing it as a kid. The name will come to me. It's not like I don't know it. Caragana. There we go. Caragana bushes. Very, very common in Regina. And kind of the provincial gardener 100 years ago or more. Introduced a lot of them to various places like Government House. Well, I guess he was the Government House gardener. Then I think he also worked on Saskatchewan Center, if I remember correctly. I rewrote the history of Government House, so all of these facts are kind of somewhere in the back of my head, but I can't necessarily swear to how accurate my recollection is. We'll go out here and take a look at spruce. Oh no, we won't, because there's somebody there. Anyway, there's a little walkway there. You can go out and look at Spruce Island, which is one of the artificial islands. There's a Spruce Island, a Willow Island, and a Pine Island in the lake. Spruce Island over the other side of these bushes is undeveloped. I think there's a landing stage, but it's not someplace you're supposed to go. It's mainly wildlife habitat, bird habitat. Pine Island we will walk onto in a minute because there's a bridge to it. Willow Island has campgrounds on it, but you have to take a boat to get to it. Yep, sweater was a mistake. I knew it. And I wore it anyway. If I can even pull up my sleeves, probably not. Maybe some. Let's make it a little cooler. If you're sitting still on a bench in the shade, you'd think it was chilly. But it doesn't take much walking to increase your heat content, which is what's going on right now. Plus the sun is quite strong. Being, as I said, almost the first day of summer, longest day of the year is just 3 weeks away. Then it starts getting shorter again, but summer just gets going. We shouldn't have any frost after that for 3 months. June is pretty safe, July is pretty safe, August is pretty safe. September, likely to get first frost sometime in September. October, could get first snow. Sometimes you get that in September. By November, likely to be plenty of snow have happened. Thanks for not ringing a bell, bicyclist. Had no idea he was there. Wish I'd pointed to the left at just the right moment to teach him a lesson, except I probably would have hurt myself. Haven't walked over there for a while, but I have sometimes. On the other side of the road, there's a whole bunch more of Wascana Center. Wascana Center actually entails a lot more than just the walk around the lake. You put it all together, it's the largest urban park, I think, in North America. One of them, anyway. Larger than Central Park, as I point out. area-wise. Not a square, though, or rectangular. It doesn't have those skyscrapers looking down on it either. This will dip us back down to the lakeshore again. There's a couple of scenic spots up here where they keep the bushes down so you can see downtown. Bit of a view through there, but the trees are a little bushier there. The better ones up here. So here, you can sit on these benches and look out downtown in the legislative building. So a very scenic view. You can see how windy it is by the ruffling of the water. Sometimes you even get white caps on a really windy day. Little tiny ones, but still. Let's go out onto the island and see what the waterfall is doing. This is the Land Surveyor's Monument. I wrote their history book. Saskatchewan Land Surveyors Association. Land surveying is sometimes called the world's second oldest profession. Okay, Pine Island over there, that's where we're headed. Today, since I haven't been there in quite some time, we'll cross that bridge there. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. More scooters. There's two different firms, so there's orange ones and the silver ones. I've never used one and I don't think I ever will. Any place I could scooter to, I'm likely to walk to and probably live stream it as I go. So, okay, we'll cross this bridge. You can see it's designed to line up directly with the legislative building ahead of us. So looking not really east, kind of northeast, I guess. Looking that way. And there's the bushes we just walked on the other side of. Usually a lot of geese on this island, we'll see today. You used to be able to walk under the waterfall. Last couple of years they've had it blocked off so you can't, but we'll see when we get around to it. That's Spruce Island over there that I was talking about. Actually, not as many geese on here as I might expect some days. The water looks dark because of the wind ruffling the surface. From this angle, it doesn't catch the sun. Yeah, actually, we're quite short on geese on here compared to most times I walk onto Pine Island. If I can't go under the waterfall, I will climb up this way in a minute. Let's see if they're letting us. No, it's chained off. They don't want you doing it. I don't know why. It used to be fun to do that, but I guess decided it was dangerous or something. I don't know. So that's the marina. We'll be over there in a minute. Downtown. Our house is that way. That's where I started. Legislative building, Spruce Island. Let's go up on top of the hill here since I can't go under the waterfall. I can take these steps, but I'm actually going to climb up the dirt here. Get a view over the top of the waterfall. You can see it's mostly got pines on it, hence Pine Island. And you look down, you can see the edge of the waterfall. Artificial, obviously. Now I'll go down this way. Windy. There are geese over there. This building over here it's kind of a timing stand for when they have boating events. It's built like a lot of the new, well, it still seems new to me. I guess it's 20 years old now. Infrastructure for the Western Canada Summer Games that were held here. Or was it the Canadian Summer Games? It was Western Canada Summer Games, I think, that were held here right after the lake was deepened in 2003. So I think in 2005 was the Summer Games held here. But there are often, there's an active rowing club, and so there have been and will be other such events. Don't get a lot of sailboats on the lake. It's kind of small, and occasionally you'll see one, but it's kind of rare. All right, and now having done that, we will return to the main path around the lake. Oof. With my sunglasses, I've got something in my left eye, so that's annoying. Hazard of context. Hopefully it's just an annoyance. It doesn't scratch the eye like it's happened to me 3 times, I think, this spring. When you scratch it, first of all, it's very painful. It feels like there's something in your eye all the time. It tends to make your vision blurry in that eye, and if it's really bad, it even makes it light sensitive. So looking at some bright light or even a computer screen gives you a little stab. That's happened that badly twice this year, and another time not quite that badly. And it's always because something gets trapped under my contact and I'm out and walking and I can't do anything about it because I can't take my contacts out when I'm walking. And sometimes the tears will wash it out, but not always. And I'm seeing unstable internet connection. Can't control that. Hopefully the feed stays up. Even if it's buffering a bit, I apologize. It's because of the leaves, I think, and the places the leaves will block the signal. Takes you up to the corner. If you were walking to the Connexus Art Center, you'd go up there. That's the Broad Street Bridge. You can see some surf there happening with the wind down at this end. Now my eye is watering. I hope it gets out, whatever that is. It's not very scratchy, but it's uncomfortable. One of these days, in the next few years, I'm probably going to never actually have to wear contacts anymore. Oh yeah. Well, here's where the wind's blowing too. So blowing out of the northwest, I guess. See some fresh growth happening in those pine trees. You can go that way under the bridge. That'll take you to the university if you keep going that way. I've made that walk more than once. Stop up here for another look at the lake. The ledge. There's the waterfall we just walked by. Front Pine Island. So we'll go down that way, past the marina in a minute. A lot of people standing around over there for some reason. With canoes. Was it a boating? Maybe it's a school. You do see schools out in canoes and things on the creek this time of year. Doesn't look like a school though. It's like older people. So I don't know what that's all about. They're all wearing life jackets though, so I guarantee they're going to be on the water shortly. So here's the marina up here. There's a boat ramp right there in front of us. And piers. Dragon boats and some canoes down at the other end. There's a dragon boat festival there every year. So people will be practicing that. Corporate teams. I think it's in September though, so it's quite a ways off. Up here we have the willow, bar willow they call it now. You can see the boats on the pier. Used to be called the willow on Wascana, but now it's called bar willow. Bar willow eatery. We're eating there soon. We've got already planned to go out with somebody when they're in town. And couple of weeks. They have a lovely deck. Good view of the lake. It's the closest thing we have to a skyscraper overlooking the park. Roberts Plaza there. More dragon boats. And a playground. Yeah, I guess it was the Canada Games, not the Western Canadian. So it was the national games that were held here after the redevelopment of the lake. This is where the rowing clubs hang out. Later in the summer, we'll see kids here taking rowing lessons. I think you can rent a boat too here. Never done that either. Jet coming overhead. Because of the way the wind's blowing, they come low. But it's like this. I Actually, it's not a jet. Turboprop. That probably means it's WestJet. I was on one of those not too long ago, flying back from Calgary. Here comes the old guys again. Different set of them. Or maybe the same ones. Would we have circled around and crossed paths again? Maybe. I've been seeing them for years. Or some version of them. I guess they've been seeing me too.
But he got his.
Yeah, same guys I crossed paths with. Back over by the ledge somewhere. I don't think I'll walk around the fountain with the wind blowing the way it is. It's going to be spraying the walkway on the east side pretty thoroughly, I think. So we'll go this way. Another bridge. Well, it might not be reaching the walkway. So that's for aeration purposes. It keeps oxygen in the water for the fishies. Keep down weeds. Nice view of it anyway. And of course, look this way, you see the ledge again. We're headed over there, that's where our house is. That bearing. Nice view. Platform up there too. It goes directly down to the West Canada Center Authority building.
Well, probably is.
Lots of people make a perambulation around the lake, part of their regular routine. I used to be quite religious about doing it on Fridays. Maybe I'll get back to that. I don't know. I keep resenting the amount of time that a walk takes, which is not good because the walking is as important as anything else I do. Got to stay fit in order to do everything else. So I should actually prioritize it more than I do. And I did when I first started doing it. I did 180 days without missing a day or thereabouts. But over time, it's getting to be more like 4 times a week, 5 times a week at best. But maybe that will improve. Now, what's with all that over there? What all that orange and yellow over there represents? Oh, it's part of the work on the Queen building there. They did all the windows not that long ago, and now they're doing something else. There's a whole bunch of dirt piled up there. They must be digging out the, I don't know, major, clearly. That's a landlocked ship, HMCS Queen, where the naval cadets hang out. There's the wind again finding us, blowing across the lake. There's a ship like this in Saskatchewan, too, called Unicorn. I understand why ours is called Queen. Other ship over there. We'll get back to San Diego very soon. See, it has a ship's mast style flagpole with the flag hanging from the yard arm. And the naval ensign, I think is what that thing is. Over there, like a lot of ground. Must be something to do with the basement. Now here, I'm quite happy to have a nice weather with you all, so it's always a difficult time of the year to figure out what I'm going to do there now. You can actually picnic on it, make a boat. You can rent it. It's also where they set off fireworks from Canada Day. Always one of my popular videos if I'm here to show it off, which I think I am this year. July 1st, of course. Willow Island over there. Willow Island, of course, plays an important role, not the island so much as the water around it, in my Shards of Excalibur young adult fantasy series, which you can find online for purchase at all bookstores. Because the way that ended, Arthur's sword Excalibur is actually in the water just the other side of Willow Island from here. More goslings. And a dog who would like to go after the goslings given half a chance. Another little view through the water. You can actually see the landing stage over there for Willow Island. Probably 15 more minutes from here and I'll be home. The bulk of the walk is now behind us. It's a little view place up here too, which I won't bother with today. But and somewhere along here is a sign that tells you how to rent. And there's the Willow Island ferry you have to do there. And that tells you where you can rent the island. More scooters.
Well,
so the parking lot here is where Shards of Excalibur really kicks off when the Lady of the Lake shows up in the water right there. And there's an important scene here when Arianne takes on some bullies with her power to use water that she's just discovered. And as I said, at the end of the series, Excalibur ends up in the water right over there. Let's take the shortcut today. Ooh, a whole bunch of goslings there. Alex. Briefly got a poor internet connection warning there, probably because I'm walking down here by all these bushes. Oh, these ones are starting to flower. There you go. That's what they look like when they flower. So, as I said, we called them honeysuckles, but they're not. Honeysuckles are a southern thing. Caraganas. More lilacs, more caraganas blooming. Purple and yellow. Yeah, I kind of predicted that. Poor internet connection down here because of the bushes. Maybe if I take the long way around, I'll get better up this way. Of course, I could vary from here. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll vary from here. We'll go up this way by the pool, see how it's faring. If it's open yet. That's college buildings over there. Dark Hall, where I just did Beauty and the Beast, is over there as well.
Yeah.
I'll just take a little loop here to see how the pool is doing. It hasn't opened yet. I kind of thought it would by now, but they seem to still be working on it. Also hoping that my internet connection stabilizes. Don't know how much buffering you're seeing. Nope, there it went away. Maybe I will go around the pool, walk down by the fence close to the water slides, just to get a look. This is the entrance to it. There's the back of Dark Hall, where Beauty and the Beast was over the weekend. Sold out shows, 4 sold out shows. So a couple of thousand people saw it, which was nice. 1,900 probably. Somewhere between 1,900 and 2,000. It doesn't quite seat 500 people. 460 or something like that. I'll go down here and walk along the fence and see what's happening in the pool grounds. Certainly not open yet. I don't know how close they are to opening. There's the water slides. Those are all quite new. It only opened, was it last year it opened? It might have just been last summer that it opened. I don't know what their opening date is. There's a whole bunch of stuff under plastic over there. I don't know what that is either. So, normally our summery things usually open on the long weekend in May, but that's come and gone. So. Scenic dumpsters. Don't say I don't show you the most interesting parts of Regina. Another look at the water slides there. All right, we're going this way, I guess, to get back on some semblance of a path. College Avenue over there. Straight ahead is the Royal Saskatchewan Museum. Home to Scotty, a cast of Scotty. I think he's the largest T-Rex. He was found in southwestern Saskatchewan. And I was there when they were digging him up and interviewed some scientists for a documentary. I think I got an assistant producer credit on that. It's the only film credit I have of that nature. Good. Something went in my mouth. I don't know what it was. We'll still end up at that same crossing over Albert Street that I had to cross to begin this walk. Oof. Unexpected rise in the pavement there. There's the lake, of course. How long has this walk been? Yeah, well, I stretched it out a bit by going on to Pine Island and coming this way, so it's going to be more than an hour by the time I get home. I can walk around the lake in less than an hour. But again, walking and carrying this and talking slows me down. If I walked as fast as I could, I might not have enough breath to talk at the same time. Guy back there had a tripod and an iPhone on it. I don't know if he's doing the same thing I am, or what, or what. Lots of picnic tables back in the woods there. Here's our crosswalk up here. Just have to wait again. Come back to Albert Street. Picture of Queen Victoria there in the end. Not that she was queen when the bridge was built, but that is where the city gets its name from. Victoria Regina, Regina. We always said we mispronounced it, but I actually saw something, some historical documentary, I think, from Britain where they pronounced it Regina, so it may have been an actual British pronunciation that was already going by the time we came here. And we became the Queen City, which of course is what that means in Latin, Regina. You can see the new growth on the spruce there. I think that's a spruce. Harrington Mews over here. I mentioned Shards of Excalibur series. One of the characters lives down on Harrington Mews. Wally Knight, one of the main characters. Dead end, no thoroughfare. I don't know if you can get out of there on foot if you go down there. Might not be able to. There might be a footpath. I've never really walked down there to find out. But you can't take a car down there and get out. You have to turn around and come back the same way. Moving up to Angus Boulevard. There's an Angus Crescent, an Angus Boulevard, and an Angus Street. So Angus got himself named, several things named after him, whoever he was, city councilor, I think. I don't think he was mayor, even. I have to look in my own book to know. Historic Walks of Regina, Moose Jaw. Why are there so many cars parked over there in that driveway? You better not want to get the middle one out or the one in the front. get home, make some fresh coffee, get to work for the rest of the day. Fridays are supposed to be the day I focus on my own writing. So I do have as I mentioned, 100 pages of a new novel that I want to polish up and send to my agent and see what he thinks. If he's still taking my emails, I haven't exchanged any emails with him in months. There just hasn't been any reason to. Ethan Ellenberg is my agent. If you would like to contact him about, licensing any of my books for foreign translations or anything like that, movie adaptations, he's the one to talk to. EthanEllenberg.com. Or you can contact me directly. ewillett@gmail.com. 2 T's on Willett, no dot, eWillett. EWILLETT. Of course, my website, edwardwillett.com. My YouTube channel, Edward Willett, as you probably know, if you're here. Facebook, Edward.Willett. Instagram, Edward Willett Author. And Twitter, eWillett. So, yeah, I failed to do what you're supposed to do, which is use the same handle on all social media, but that's because they were spread out over many months or years. Davin school dead ahead. Here's our crescent. They swept it yesterday. Got the leaves and elm tree seeds and stuff out of the gutters. It will quickly fill up with stuff again, but they do it twice a year. In the fall, of course, they have to come and get the leaves out of the gutters. So how long did this end up being? An hour and 3 minutes. Hour 5, let's call it, by the time I stop up here. Now, it makes up for yesterday being only 18. So I will stop here. Thanks for walking with me. It might be a few days before I'm back. I'm not 100% sure. But I hope you enjoyed that walk, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.